Hello everyone, it is great to see you. Today we're actually going to be looking at another variation of the Sicilian defense. This is one of the most famous and so very excited to be able to share it with you. Today we are looking at the Accelerated Dragon. If you have not checked out our open Sicilian defense, I recommend that you go there, kind of look at the basic Sicilian, and then kind of look on to these different variations. The Accelerated Dragon is very popular among high-level players. It is different from a standard dragon of the Sicilian, and it is one of the most flexible lines of the Sicilian, and so players who love kind of positional possibilities and dynamic potential will love this also. Okay, let's start with how you begin. So in a Sicilian, you will go e4, c5, and then knight f3, knight c6. This is kind of the basic setup. And then here we'll also do d4 takes, and then takes. And then what black will do here actually in this position is they'll go g6. And you'll think, what? G6? Are you trying to go here? Well, what they actually do in this position is, for example, if knight went knight c3, it's developing, black would go bishop g7. And this is why it's called the Accelerated Dragon defense, because black is actually giving a chance for white to play by playing d6, and so it gives a tempo over to white, but also tries to fight for the center early on. And so in this situation, white can do something like b3, b3, protecting this kind of pin that's here, and then black will just go knight f6. And so developing, this is a very popular idea, and essentially what white can do is in this position is go bishop c4 and then black castles. So the king is very safe, and it has quite complete development, and what white gains is a lot of space here in the center and a lot of rapid development, but it does have pressure on the king's side. Oh, and it can also get pressure on the king's side with moves something like this, a pawn march to the end, but it also has a weakness of the king being in the center. The black actually has a really flexible opportunity to start attacking in the center as well. Both his pawns are intact, so anytime they can go like that. Yeah, just a really flexible center, and long term also they can kind of put pressure on the queen side with moves like this, just going and attacking here as well. And so this is a very balanced position, I would say. For black, black eventually wants to go d5. Obviously, if it is possible to do so. If it is blocked, it might have to go like e6 and then d5. But d5 is kind of the central idea, and black usually won't aim for a immediate attack in this position because white has so much center, but they will actually try to slowly build up pressure. And on the long term, this bishop on g7 is going to slice across the board. It's looking at this knight, it's looking at this knight, it's looking at this pawn and this rook. So very important here. Also protecting the king here as well, and so lots of positional counter punches. For white, they'll often play moves like bishop e3 eventually, like we did, or queen d2, something like this, just trying to attack quickly, and the long castle usually, because this fortress is quite strong. But the Accelerated Dragon actually with the d5 can come faster, and so this will be a more tactical play. So lots of different options here. And what I also want to show you is actually, even without the Accelerated Dragon, what is possible with g6 here is, instead of going like we did knight c3, the so-called Maroczy bind is a really important alternative. And what white does here is actually white goes c4. And you're like, what? Well, white enters this Maroczy bind, and this will really set up to restrict black's central pawns and especially preventing this d5, this key idea for black. And so it kind of strangles black's counterplay, and it really controls these really important squares right here. But what becomes harder is it becomes harder for them to attack. This bishop is kind of blocked, and also they just weren't able to develop as much with this tempo, and so it needs really precise positional play here. What black will do in this position is they'll try to, for example, trade a couple of pieces. They'll, especially this their light colored bishop, because it is kind of useless down here, and it will challenge this with something like possibly d6 or bishop to e6 later on, something like this, so that this pawn can't be so strong. So yeah, in the Sicilian, especially the accelerated dragon, I would say don't rush into d5, as we saw. Don't rush into d5 unless you're ready, and don't also play e5 unless you're ready. So become ready. And for white, don't go for a full-on attack. We will actually be looking at in another video. But if you're sure that black cannot play d5, usually should you set up like an immediate attack, and watch always for queenside counterplay that black will launch on you. And yeah, and so for a Marat bind, actually, I will show you how this might go. Black will just go bishop g7, and then white can do something like bishop e3. Black will go knight f6, and then we'll go knight c3. Black will castle, just kind of normal for them. We'll go bishops e2. They'll go d6, not going right onto d5 as we saw, and then we'll castle here. They'll go bishop d7, kind of passive here, but also getting into the center and building up for queenside counterplay, something like queen d2, knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, bishop c6. This kind of idea is what you are looking at, for example. And slightly better for white, but kind of minuscule, I would say, not too much of a difference. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And that was the Sicilian Accelerated Dragon Defense. Stay curious. If you have any questions, comments down below, please feel free to do so. To comment and have fun. Thank you so much, and bye.